Okay, so today's Thursday, February 27th, 2025. This is an actual CTT because it's a car talk and a Thursday. I haven't been in a car in a while. I haven't done these on a Thursday in a while. This is also still a California talk Thursday, so it's a CTT that way. And I'm in a Mini Cooper, so it's a Mick TT. It's a Mini Cooper talk Thursday, but okay. What to talk about? So I guess going over the week as usual, and then February as a whole. So let's start with Pokemon Day, because that is today. The Direct was this morning. I live streamed it. It was like, why not? Let's have some fun. It was fine. Like I had said at the start, like, here's what I predict. A bunch of shit that they kind of have to hit. Like, here's stuff in the trading card game. Here's the like Unite stuff, maybe some shows. I don't think I brought that up when I was talking, but I probably should have. Like, here's something for Cafe Remix, here's something for Unite, for Masters EX, all that stuff. There's gonna be some stuff for Legends. I hope to see Mystery Dungeon 2. We didn't. It's like, maybe we'll see something from Gen 10. We didn't. We did not see the Gen 5 remakes, and I was right about that. So we did get a release window, not necessarily a date, for Legends ZA. I'm thinking, I said like November 21st, because I remember checking a couple days ago, because my assumption is it's going to be sometime in November, and that's like a late Friday in November, so I'll guess around there. I did say late 2025, so that's on point. We did get our starters. My prediction going in is like we're gonna have a Grass, a Fire, and a Water type. We're gonna have one from Gen 2, one from Gen 5, and one from Gen 7, because that's what we had in Arceus. I predicted Totodile, Snivy, and Litten, because I really wanted to see Mega Incineroar. We got Totodile. We did get one from Gen 5. It's Tepping instead of Snivy. He's like, alright, I was wrong, but I was on the right track. What the fuck is Chikorita doing here? Why do we have two starters from Gen 2? And I'm not trying to shit on the Gen 2 starters. Chikorita's my least favorite, but I like Chikorita, and Mega Meganium sounds kind of interesting, kind of fun. I am a big Cyndaquil fan. I picked Oshawott when I did Arceus, but I love Cyndaquil. I love Totodile. Like, unless the Megas for like Emboar or Meganium are just that amazing, I'm probably picking Totodile because of how much I love Totodile. It's like, why do we have two starters from the same gen? Like, that feels weird and wrong, and I just don't like this. And again, it's not that I hate the specific Pokemon that are chosen, although I'm not a big Tepig fan. I'm very tepid on the pig. It just feels weird and wrong to do it like that. And something that Clay had said that I think is also pretty on point, it makes Tepig stand out more, and maybe that's the point, is again, if I think the Gen 5 remakes are coming out, and they're really going to be trying to hype up Gen 5 and give some of those Pokemon more like promotion and whatnot, it kind of almost makes sense. Like, here's the Gen 5 starter, and they really feel out of place with the two other Johto Pokemon. It really puts an emphasis on Gen 5. Maybe they're going to do a Johto remake again soon, like the Let's Go games. And it's like, yeah, Johto and Unova, we're really trying to hype them up right now. Like, I don't know, it feels weird, but from that perspective, I could get it. So it does look like ZA is, I'm still going to call it Pokemon Z. Pokemon Z looks like it takes place exclusively in Lumio City. It doesn't look like it's Kalos outside of it. There's a lot of little wild areas in Lumio City. At least the first one was like an alley. It did not look very big. And I don't know if that's just, yeah, it's the first area. It's not going to be super big, but I don't know. The first area in Arceus is like fucking huge. The catching mechanic is the same as it was in Arceus, and that's good. Battle looks similar. They didn't show, like, I didn't notice strong versus, like, agile. What is it? Strong and agile, I think is what it was. I didn't notice that. That might still be there. There is still a lot of walking around and dodging, and it looks like just because in battles, Pokemon just, like, kind of stayed in place. It looks like even in battles, they're still going to be moving around, and I think that's neat. I'm looking forward to that. The game, I'm not sure when it takes place, Because I noticed, I was like, okay, like this looks like regular Lumio City. So I don't know if this is after X and Y. And it's like, all right, we're trying to remake and like rebuild Lumio City if this still takes place in the past. Because your boy AZ, like, I don't know if he just cleaned himself up and he looks more presentable, but he looks a lot younger. And like Sycamore is nowhere to be seen. So I'm like, okay, it looks like it's maybe not present day, but I saw Rotom decks at the end, and that's a very modern thing. But I mean, in Arceus, you have a phone from God because it's an isekai, so if there's still an isekai or like time travel's involved, like it would make sense to be like that. But like the Pokeballs look modern. Lumio City still looks pretty modern. So I don't know. I'll be honest. I went from, yo, I can't wait for this game, like I'm so excited, to more of a, huh. Now I'm still gonna get it. It's Pokemon. Like I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it day one, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this game is incredible. But I don't know. Maybe it is because of how tepid I am on the starters. Maybe it is because I was really hoping for this like cool ancient adventure the way we got in Arceus. Maybe Arceus just spoiled me because, as I've said before, this is the Pokemon game I'd been wanting to play since I was like 7 years old. And I got it, and it was amazing. I still think Pokemon Z looks super neat, and it looks fun. And I'm probably going to play it, and it's going to be amazing. I remember the first day I played Arceus, I put 13 hours in. And then the next day, I also put 13 hours in because I could not put that game down. And I hope I have a similar, I mean, like I was also unemployed at the time. Now I'm hoping I'll still be employed by the time the game comes out. Like I don't know if I'll have the time that I did previously with Arceus, but I hope it has that same level of engagement with me. I was really hoping we'd see some new Mega Evolutions, and we haven't. I'm like, it gives me a little bit of pause. Like, they're not gonna not add new Megas, right? They're gonna do that, right? That feels like a no-brainer, but it also felt like a no-brainer to have like each starter come from a different region, and clearly that didn't happen, so who knows. But, I guess while we're on the topic of Nintendo, I went to Universal last weekend. I went to Super Nintendo World, or Land, I don't remember what it's called, and it's fine. Here's the thing. I've been to Universal before, so all like the other stuff and some of the rides I've experienced, and I do enjoy it. The last time I went to Universal, I went to Orlando, so going to the one here in Hollywood, it's a lot smaller. Like, there's less stuff. There's less rides and attractions. Like, going to Potter World here is neat. I like it. Going to Potter World in Orlando is so freaking cool. And here's the thing. It's like 100, 110, something like that, bucks, like, for the ticket. It's not cheap. Parking is another $35. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Okay. So in Super Nintendo World, it is not extra to get into that park. But there's only one ride, and we'll put a pin in that. A lot of the other stuff is mini games. I'm like, oh, okay, like that sounds kind of neat. But to play the mini games, you need like the power bracelet or whatever it's called. It's not a glove, otherwise I would have definitely made power glove jokes. But it's some kind of like a power-up band or whatever the fuck, and it's $42. So to be able to really experience Super Nintendo World, you got to pay like $100 to get in, $35 to park, another $42 just to be able to do this shit. So that's what, almost $180 right there. Not factoring in tax, because that thing probably costs more with tax. This is also not including any of the food you're gonna buy, any souvenirs. I saw a Bowser backpack, which was like a shell, and it looked really cool. And then I saw the price tag, like, why is that $100 for a backpack? Like, straight up, it's just 100. Like, why is it $100 for a backpack? Like, I got some souvenirs for some friends. Like, I got 4 things. Why was this $147? This is insane. So I did not buy the bracelet, by the way. I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. Which means a lot of Nintendo World was basically just unavailable, which was really disappointing. Now, aesthetically, it's incredible. Like, I'm seeing, like, animatronic plants and Koopas and Goombas just moving around. Like, this is super neat. You go in through a warp pipe and you're in Peach's castle, and it's got, like, these paintings, and then the paintings will, like, kind of, like, swirl and shit, and I'm like, that's really cool. That's 2 Goombas. This just looks like the tiny huge island painting. This is super neat. The Toadstool Cafe is pretty neat. They've got like these little animations playing on the walls of just like the toads walking around the Mushroom Kingdom. Then Bowser comes and starts firing bullet bills at them. It's super cool. Let me take that pen out and talk about the ride. So the ride is Mario Kart, and what I was led to believe, and I don't think this is like a bad thing, I'm not mad about that, is I thought it was like an actual like go-kart thing. And it's not that. It's like you're on a track and then you're basically playing Mario Kart like a VR headset and seeing shit. And I do think that's super neat. Here's the problem. My head is too big. Like, that shit did, like, you wear like a visor and then you put like another visor onto that. It never quite fit on my head. So I'm wearing this thing that doesn't quite fit. It is slipping off with a visor that's also slipping off. So I'm supposed to be driving it like hitting shells. I have to use one hand to just hold this, and then so I can't really play the game effectively. So I went in being like, I can't wait for Super Nintendo World. This is gonna be so cool. I'm so excited. And then I left just going, this was kind of disappointing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's also just Mario. I don't have a problem with it. Like, I like Mario, don't get me wrong. I was like, oh, okay. Because I think what I was expecting was the attractions are going to be Mario because they haven't added the other stuff. But probably we're going to see merch from, like, Mario and Pokemon and DK. Even the merch is just Mario. And that's what really surprised me. Like, I thought for sure I was going to see some Pokemon stuff. And I think in Japan, they have now added Donkey Kong Country. I don't think they've added anything Pokemon yet. I don't think they've announced anything Pokemon yet, which is kind of wild to me. I thought, like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't want to give any disrespect to DK. Like, Donkey Kong Country sounds really fun. There's going to be a minecart roller coaster. Like, I want to do that. I'm kind of surprised Pokemon wasn't the second thing, given it's, you know, the most successful media franchise on Earth. But I guess I now know for next time, if I'm gonna do Universal, you gotta make sure you budget for parking and for the fucking wristband. And yeah, like, it is fine. One thing I will say is, like, some of the other shit that I did, though, I had part of the giant, like, Simpsons burger. I say part of because that thing was huge. We, like, cut it into quarters. It was okay. I thought it was like way too sweet, as you kind of imagine. I think the Transformers ride is pretty fun. The Potter World ride in the castle is fun, but I felt like really motion sick after. It's like, I don't really get motion sick, but I'm like, damn, like, I feel really kind of sick. Like, I'm having trouble kind of walking. And then my buddy that did the ride with me, he felt the same. We did the Mummy coaster, which is very short, but it's very fun. I'm a big fan of the Mummy. What is it? Like, the Mummy Returns or Revenge of the Mummy. It's some shit like that. I really like it. One thing I will say is it's all about the single rider line. There's the normal ride for the attractions, then you got the express pass, you can skip a lot of shit. But if you're riding by yourself, or you're in a group but you guys don't need to sit together, you can do the single rider and you just fly through the line. Like, the ride for the wait for Mario Kart was like 65 minutes. It took us like 2 to get to the front of the line because there was no one else, and we just actually got to, like, walk around like Bowser's castle and shit. I'm like, this is really fucking cool. I like this. And like, while I'm on the subject of that day and that weekend, so later that evening was my brother's 30th birthday party. So I got to go to that, and I got to see my brother, and that was really fun. I got to see my other parents, and that was really fun. I hadn't seen them in a long time. And one of the moments that just lives in my head rent-free is when, you know, like, the DJ's playing music, and, you know, a lot of, like, remixes and mashups, and at one point, Not Like Us starts playing, and I see my other dad, Mr. Willie, just in the corner going, wop, 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 dot, fuck him up, wop. And I'm like, this is so funny. Like, this is incredible. And it's just like, yeah, like, I'm at my little brother's birthday and everyone's having a good time. And again, we're banging the song that calls Drake a pedophile. It's so... Like, I don't understand how there are people that think that Drake somehow won this beef, or that came out somewhat intact. I just don't. When this is shit that's happening, like, no, you took the biggest L of all time. I mean, maybe not of all time, but he's up there for sure. It's just fucking wild. Anyways, and then the next day, so that was all on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I got to hang out with some friends and some of their friends that I had met before, and we played Munchkin, and that was really fun. Like, we had, like, homemade pizza, which was very good, and, like, some asparagus, which was also really good, and, yeah, I just had a really good time. I had kind of started reading the Gender Bent Twilight book, like, I read a few pages while I was over there, haven't touched it since. I want to, like, the little bit I read, I'm like, this is so weird, but I'm kind of having a good time with it. I don't know if I think it's good, but I'm having a good time with it. And I definitely, like, I'm in. I just don't know how much, like, time and energy I have, you know? During that hangout, I learned that Survivor's about to start, and I had no idea that it was. I think the first episode was yesterday. I haven't seen it yet. I was talking to my dad. He's gonna keep them recorded for me. So when I get back, which I still don't know when that's gonna happen, I'm assuming in like a couple weeks, I'll get back and probably just binge the episodes that I miss, which should be like 2 to 3 or so. Excuse me. Or maybe there's a chance this weekend, like if I hang out with the Chungs, I'll not be able to catch up. But we'll see. I'm gonna be behind for a bit when it comes to Survivor, but I'm looking forward to it. What the hell does that say? Sorry, I'm looking at some of my notes. Oh, single rider. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, it's another thing I forgot to say about Universals. When you're going down the lots and you got like the stairs and the escalator, that shit is so steep. Like, I have a fear of heights, which is why I don't always go on roller coasters, but man, just looking down the escalator, like, I am getting really bad vertigo. And I don't know, I just thought that was fun to bring up. Okay, so in terms of writing, I wanted to finish Severance by the end of February, but for most of February, I didn't fucking touch it. But I'm at the very end of this chapter. And I had talked about how there's the triplets. It's these 3 really long chapters. One of them I'm literally at the end of. I was a bit like, the ending's a little jank, I think, as is. I need to clean this up. Kind of don't want to do it right now. But I'm at the end of it, and like the past few days, I've been able to make some really good progress. Gotten a lot of art done. One of our characters, like in terms of her sprites, she's finished. So very glad to have that done. Now we're moving on to another character. I don't know the ETA for when his sprites will be done, but he's only got a few left, so hopefully relatively soon, like within the next couple weeks or so. Have another, and then in terms of other art commissions, I have one from an artist. I think I brought it up before. I read Nas and Zakuro, like volume 1. I had a good time with it. So the artist was available for commissions. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I picked this up because Nos reminds me of one of my own characters. So I requested like both of them doing an outfit swap, and I'm like, this sounds really fun. I'm looking forward to that when it comes out. Another artist I actually have doing that same OC. It's like, I feel like she would fit your art style very well. Another artist that I've worked with a few times, I had do a character design for one of my Orichalcum characters. I think she looks very good. And I have another character. She's not technically from Severance necessarily, but she's from that same universe. She's actually one of Clay's characters. And having an artist do a picture of her, I actually don't know the gender of the artist, but this artist did work of one of my characters from Severance, and I think it looks fucking incredible. And the next time this artist is available, like, I'm going to get a spot. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm waiting. And as soon as I saw them available, I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. I just don't know who to lock in. And then I thought about Nox, and I was like, that would be a really fucking cool picture. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And I told Clay's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. Like, we haven't even seen it yet. Like, we just know the commission's been accepted. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna print that and put it on my wall. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I know it's gonna look incredible. So that's super neat. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the week. February in review. I mean, it kind of sucked, but it wasn't terrible, I suppose. Here is the thing. I had said to myself, I think, like, it's just how stressed I was. Like, I'm going to move. It's going to be temporary, but, like, I thought I was going to move at this point, and I would have time to prepare. Now I don't, and I'm going to be away from my family, from my friends, from my cat, and my environment, and all that fun shit. I'm like, I don't know, like... I think a couple different people were like, are you all right? Like, how are you doing? And I think, like, my stance on it is short term, not all right. Long term, gonna be just fine. It's like studying for the bar. I know, like, for this chunk, my life is gonna suck, and then I'm gonna be all right. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, yeah, I've definitely had good days. I like my coworkers, and again, that includes my boss. Like, I like the people that I work with. I more or less like what I do. I've enjoyed some of, like, my time doing other stuff. I've just felt so tired. It has been a lot of long days. A lot longer than I am used to working, and also because I work remotely, I don't commute. Now I'm in LA, where you commute. And so by the time I get back, I'm like, I'm really exhausted. And even when I work at home, like, oftentimes what'll happen is, like, I'll have a day at work, and, like, today felt really long, or got kind of draining or frustrating for whatever reason. Like, it's work. It happens to all of us. Happens to the best of us. Sometimes, like, I just kind of need to chill for a bit. Like, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, just sit, relax, watch some videos, maybe, like, take a nap, or, like, an almost nap, you know what I mean? Just relax and unwind and de-stress. And it's like, okay, now I'm ready to do stuff. Maybe I want to go to the gym. Maybe I want to go for a drive. Maybe I just want to, like, hang out with someone, like play Skullgirls with Jose, or go bug Wyatt and Chris, or go see my parents, or play with my cat. Things that really help recharge my battery. And then if there's other stuff I want to do, like I want to write now, or I want to, like, work on a project, whatever medium that project is in, I can go do it. The problem is I just don't feel like I have a lot of that here. It's like, there's gyms. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if there's one, like, super close. I don't know if, like, do I really want to do a membership while I'm out here? And I don't know. I also don't really want to drive anywhere because traffic sucks. And if I leave, there might not be a parking spot when I get back. It's the next thing of, yeah, I'm not going to go on my nice, relaxing drives. I have, like, hour-long drives every day, sometimes 2 of them. But I'm like, yeah, driving for an hour because I want to, because like I'm just enjoying, you know, having the like blasting my AC or like with the window down, going on not the highway but like on like the back roads and the country roads, just enjoying the vibe, is a very different experience from I'm driving for an hour in LA traffic just trying to get home and really hoping I'm not in an accident, which still haven't been, and I hope that trend continues. But it's not relaxing, and it's like, yeah, I talked to my dad, I've like talked to my friends, but it's not the same as being there in person. Instead of being something that's like, yeah, I'm hanging out with someone I care about and it's like recharging me, it almost kind of makes me feel more lonely. And like, I can't play with my cat. My dad sends me pictures every now and then. I'm really happy to see him. I'm like, I miss my boyo. And so because of that, I feel like I haven't been super productive. Like, I finally started working on Severance and I'm almost done with this chapter. I did finish 1,000 Year Door. I do want to do a video on that at some point. See, that's another thing. I was really hoping, I was like, maybe I can get like some cool merch in Super Nintendo World and like I can show it off during the video. And like I said, I got some stuff for some friends and like I didn't really get anything for me, and shit was fucking expensive. But I do want to do that video at some point. In terms of artists, I think I technically finished Linkin Park in January, so no. It's still Red Seconds in January, so no. I've started Queens of the Stone Age. I'm not crazy about Queens of the Stone Age, but I like don't hate them. Like the first album I thought I liked fine, but I was really like doing other stuff at the time. It was kind of background music, but I thought it was good background music. Rated R, I really just didn't get into. And then around the second half of the album, I was like, oh, I think I kind of enjoyed this. I really liked Songs for the Deaf. Like, again, like, it was kind of mostly stuff I had on in the background, but I was really enjoying it. So I don't know, maybe this is kind of the turning point. I'm going to really start liking the albums from here on out. Hopefully, that'd be nice. I haven't watched anything since I've been out here. Played Paper Mario, but nothing else. I played a couple levels of Celeste the other day. I was like, I think I need this. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, talk about the character and whatnot. I guess I'll end by saying something I sent to a friend of mine the other day, where I was like, you know, I might not know how to sew, but driving in LA has taught me how to thread a fucking needle. Because a lot of just parking and like getting in and out of traffic lanes, like my GPS is very inconsistent with where it will take me. And it's like, no, here's the best route available and everything, which is nice. But sometimes like, oh, okay, I'm taking this highway and I feel like I know this highway. It's easy to navigate. And there's this one that's taken me on a couple times going back home, where I have to merge, but like I have to leave the highway, go for a bit, get back onto the highway, and where I get in, I'm like right in front of an exit that I don't want to be on, and I have to cross like 3 lanes of traffic really fucking quick to get to where I want to go. And I'm 2 for 2 and pulling it off, but I'm also like, why is this so dicey? Like, this fucking sucks. I have learned to thread a fucking needle. And I hope that continues. I hope there's not a point where my luck with that runs out. But that's been February. That's been this week. I hope y'all have had a good month. I hope y'all have a good week and a good day and etc. etc. And I hope Legend ZA kicks ass.